very inspirational to me, rock stars in this rental arbitrage business. Let's talk about one.
There he is.
Ethan Cook. He's right here. I met him a couple of times before he actually pulled the trigger. And what Ethan wanted was time with his family, just like him. He has two daughters, two beautiful daughters, just like I do. And he spent 20 years in corporate America, did all the right things, bought rentals in San Francisco. But you know what? That equity, you can't really eat that equity. It doesn't really feed you. It's there on paper, but it doesn't really give you your freedom. It doesn't give you freedom. So he wanted more time with his family because kids grow up fast. You guys have kids? Yeah? Okay, you know, they grow up fast. So this is his, so I showed you Rochelle, that's typical. This is the Grand Slam. This is equivalent to what Raul presented to you. This is the most profitable deal, rental arbitrage, I've ever seen on the planet. Maybe the galaxy.
Wow.
You guys want to hear and see this?
Yeah.
He's here too, so it's real stuff. This is real. So, he found something in San Bruno. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. It was kind of like the one bed, it was a twin one on the bottom, okay? Have you guys seen those setups?
Yes.
Okay, 2 parking spaces, garage. And then there was a kitchenette in both of them, and he spotted that. And he said, you know what? The landlord's renting me one place at market rent for one place, but I can break this up into 2. That was some keen insight. So, and he said the place needed work. So he put in some work, made it look nice, $20,000 investment in. Okay? Now his monthly costs are $4,800. That's with Wi-Fi, sewer, garbage, water, rent. Okay? You guys all with me?
Yeah.
Okay. By short-term rentals, he does extended stays. He's able to bring in $6,000 to $8,000 per month with both units combined cash flow. All right? That leaves him a whopping $2,800 per month in one deal. Net income. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Would that help you guys out, Amy? That covers a couple car payments, yes? That could fund a retirement account or college savings. That's a lot of money. So even though he put in $20,000, he breaks even in 7 months. You guys look at me. He gets all his money back, and he just starts this gravy train from then. That's infinite returns if you're an accountant. After 7 months, that's infinite returns in cash flow. Now, how many times can he do this?
Easy one.
Who would loan him money for this?
Yeah, a lot of people.
No one? I would. I'd be right in line. I think Ethan has do you have any problem raising money, Ethan?
No, I often turn people down.
Turn people away. He hasn't even given me an opportunity to. And Ethan, so when you can do this and you can clean up someone's place in a great spot of town, do you think any other landlords will want you to take on their property? Who wouldn't, right?
They've referred me to 3 more since then.
He referred. So while you're here, do you have any problem at all finding places?
No.
So what do we got? We got a great market. I think I proved it by 3 extended stays, right? The proof is in the presence of the extended stays because they invested millions of dollars, right? And then you can make money out of thin air. You guys follow what we're doing? So that's why you don't have to go to work unless you want to. You don't. Now I warn you, tomorrow you're gonna go and you're gonna have a short temper with your boss. You're gonna have a short temper because you know you can walk. Yes, sir.
So for how long do you do the leases for?
Why don't you go ahead and ask them?
I did that one for a year, and I told the owners that I thought I was going to do very well with it, but I wasn't sure, and I was putting a lot down front. So I did a 1-year lease, and I was paying $3,800 a month, and I told them up front, if it works out, I'll give you $4,200 a month for next year. And they were excited, and I made good on my promise, and
Yeah.
I'm still making plenty.
And Rochelle did 1 year. I always do 1 year. Matt, yes.
Do you disclose goes to the landlords right off the bat that
Yeah.
this is what
Oh,
you
yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything with high integrity.
Landlords are okay with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, depending on how you present it, yeah.
Yeah, it's all, there's some scripts, that we have in our, that we use, I'm gonna share with you later, and Ethan's contributed with that, he has his own spin, basically, but you present the benefits, just like anything. You show the benefits to the landlord. One of them is, one part of the scripts goes, I'm essentially gonna be a manager, cause the place has, to do corporate housing, the place has to look amazing, yes? And if you're a regular tenant, it doesn't have to look amazing. And then, once they learn to trust you, they can let their management company go and save that 6 to 10%, yes? So they got an amazing asset, and they're making even more money because their expenses went down. So it's a huge benefit. You're a super tenant. I mean, you have a super offering. You're more aligned with the landlord than a tenant is. So it makes a lot of sense for them to turn it over. Let's keep going. I don't want to run out of time. 7 months. Now, you guys can do this. This San Bruno, there's properties like this all up and down the Bay Area, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, where do you find them?
Well, you found out Craigslist, didn't you?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
over and over again, yeah.
Yep. Tell me your name, ma'am.
It's Anna.
Anna, do you have any rentals right now?
No, I'm one of the corporate people that wants out.
Okay. So Anna, what I'm sharing with you is that you can too. I mean, we talked about Ethan. Well, let me finish up telling you a story.
Please.
But I want you to follow his footsteps.
Okay.
The problem is keeping them filled. Let's be honest. If you got the place, you gotta keep it filled. Otherwise, what? You end up making less than a traditional landlord. Okay? So let's talk about that, because that's the biggest objection people have. Everyone knows about vacation rentals. Airbnb for vacation rentals. But the market is pretty short-term rental universe also includes military housing. Okay? They need it. So does corporate rentals, corporate housing. People, business travelers are staying for extended periods of time. Students need furnished rentals. Yes? You guys gotta talk back to me. What about insurance when you get flooded, someplace gets flooded and where's my insurance brother? You know about loss of use, yes?
Yes, I do. Loss of use, loss of rent, if you're a landlord, those kinds of things. But I
Yeah.
think limited times that you can.
Yeah, you would need a place that's furnished. And then, what about medical?
I know about that too.
we got travel nurses, traveling healthcare professionals. We got even people coming to be with their loved ones, all medical related. Okay, is it bigger than you guys thought?
Actually, I can speak to that. I was just kidding. My wife happens to be a VP of nursing at a major hospital right here, and she actually oversees hiring of travel nurses, I think they call them, across the country. And so people come from Alabama, South, and they come here, and they'll come for 6 or 7 months and leave. So she's always bringing people in, or she does personally, but she oversees people that come in.
Correct. What city is she in?
She's in Fremont.
Okay.
And so I had heard your presentation before,
Okay.
and I mentioned this to her, and she said, oh yeah, we have a lot of these traveling nurses that come in, and they come for the wages here, because the wages here are a lot higher than where they're from. But for
Right.
example, in Florida, you pay them $25 an hour, here they make 75, so
Right.
they'll arbitrage that, so.
So they're
yeah.
arbitraging.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. And then you got temp housing too. A lot of people from the Bay Area sell their home for millions and come through Sacramento as they're looking for a new place. So temp housing is my most profitable category. So look at this universe here. Most people are only focused on what? Vacation, yeah? That conversation kind of stops there. But what happens if Raul was talking about the economy going up and down, right? Which one of these is most vulnerable to a downturn in the economy? Vacation, would you guys say?
Yep.
And which one is completely impervious to a downturn in the economy?
Medical?
Yeah, medical, lots of them, right? What about when the economy goes down, what happens to student population? A downturn in the economy, what happens to the student population?
Goes up.
Goes up. So I guess that's recession proof too, yes? when people lose their houses, when they lose their houses, they need a place to stay, right?
Yep.
Either there's a motel or you're furnished rental. So would temp housing be recession-proof too?
Yes.
So we got 6 categories of recession-proof. No matter what happens, you can still make the gravy. You guys follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, tell me your name again. Yes, sister, yeah.
Yeah, Anna.
Anna, can you see whether the economy goes up or down, you're not worried. Okay? And you're doing a 30 days and longer, so sometimes it's 5 months, 6 months before you have to lift a finger. You can get your nails done, you can relax. Okay.
You might want to.
Who has a, who's a typical landlord or regular who has a rentals here? You. Okay. Sandra? Sandra, how many rentals do you have? 2. And what I'm sharing with you is you got a choice now. You can make twice as much as you're making now with those 2, or you can sell one and make the same amount and pay down the debt.
Yeah.
So you're in good shape.
I actually have
Okay, that's good. I mean, you definitely make money. There's a spot where you can make money on all of these. Okay, so we talked about, what happens if you're in military housing and the market dries up, what do you do?
Corporate housing.
Yeah, you pivot. And what happens in corporate housing if the market dries up, what do you do with that furnished rental? You pivot, yeah, so you see what I'm saying? Not only do you have different categories, you just pivot out. You don't stay there while when your cheese moves, you move, right?
Yes.
And that's how you stay recession-proof. In fact, it's safer to do a short-term rental than it is to be a regular landlord,
Yes.
because you have all these options. A regular landlord, either you're filled or you're vacant.
Got mobility.
And you got mobility, exactly. Okay, so Ethan, back to Ethan. Ethan was ringing me for tips. Ethan got together in our community. He had appointments with different people, getting their best ideas. I'm sure you heard from him a couple times, Jay.
Yeah.
He's like, so he had the mindset of making this thing happen. And that's what he did. He was picking up 1 per month.
Wow.
So it's not theoretical,
Impressive.
Anna. It's not theoretical. It's just having the mindset of going and doing it. And now, you guys all stand up and give him a round of applause. He made a public. That was a girl. Ethan wanted to fight for his family, and he set a goal and he made it public, and then he just achieved it today or yesterday?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, 15 units.
Yeah, so he's fighting for his family and he's making it happen, and it's for real. Congratulations, Manna.
Great.
Okay. So the takeaway from this.
Huge thanks to Al Williamson and Jay Martin,
And Jay
my
Martin.
2 mentors.
What I want you guys to walk away with is you don't have to worry about vacancies if you get into these other categories in addition to vacation. There's nothing wrong with vacation. But if you had trouble, you would know what to do now, right? Okay. And what you do is you pivot out of them and you get into them, you can thrive. You'll be fine. That's the second insight. Yes, sir.
How do you market to the other groups, student housing,
That's
insurance?
I would love to tell you, let me tell you.